శంకరాభరణము శంకరా దొరకునా.
నమస్కారం, పరదేశీ పెద్దమ్మ కథలకు స్వాగతం. ఈ వారం నేను మెల్ని రివ్యూ చేస్తున్న సినిమా టాలీవుడ్ చరిత్రలో, అంటే అప్పటి వరకు చాలా సినిమాలు వచ్చినాయి, కానీ అన్ని సినిమాలు ఓ మోసధోరణికే పరిమితం అయిపోతున్నాయని జనాల్లో కూడా ఒక బలమైన అభిప్రాయం బలపడుతున్న తరుణంలో వచ్చిన సినిమా. ఆ సినిమా రావడంతో దాదాపుగా అప్పటి వరకు ఉన్న ఆ స్టీరియో టైప్ ఆలోచనలు ఏదైతే ఉన్నాయో, ప్రేక్షకులు ఇవే చూస్తారు, ప్రేక్షకులకి ఇలాంటి సినిమాలే నచ్చుతాయి అన్న ఆలోచనలన్నిటిని కూడా పటాపంచలు చేస్తూ లెజెండరీ డైరెక్టర్ K.Viswanath తీసిన శంకరాభరణం సినిమా మెల్ని చూశారు. సో మెల్నీకి ఎలా అనిపించింది శంకరాభరణం సినిమా అనేది తన రివ్యూలో ఈ వారం తెలుసుకుందాం. హాయ్ మెల్ని.
Hey, good to see you, Harsha.
Yeah.
So this was a really interesting movie to become so popular because it's very, I don't know, I'd call it more like parallel cinema. You know, it's not, and since most of the music in the film is Carnatic classical music, it's also very unusual in that respect. You know, I mean, it's about a classical singer and what he goes through in his life as classical music becomes less popular, and his struggles with that. But it's you have, in other films you might have one or two classical music numbers, maybe at a religious festival, or one particular character might show off their prowess in singing or something. But really unusual to have almost an entire film with classical music. And I mean, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous music. To me, what I was really struck by is that I read the film actually opened to almost empty halls. Like, it kind of grew in popularity and ended up running in a theater for 216 days, winning, national film awards and everything. But it had a slow start because if you just kind of describe the movie, well, it's going to be about this kind of classical thing. I mean, I just don't know, it just doesn't have the normal formula that maybe audiences would be expecting, especially maybe in 1980. Maybe you want more of an, you're expecting an action or a family drama or something like that. Not that this doesn't have family drama, it does, but if you kind of do the elevator speech of what this movie is, maybe it doesn't sound as compelling, but the music and the performances are so amazing. I can imagine how people would go back again and again to see this film just to hear this gorgeous music. I was also just really taken with the lead actor, Somayajulu. I don't know if I say that right. I apologize. So I think they really searched for the right person to play this classical singer who had so much pride, justifiable pride at his, excellence as a singer, but also that pride got him into trouble, and that, he had no other way of living. And when classical music became less popular, he just couldn't live any other way than through his art. Anyway, so they found this stage actor, and he was so incredibly compelling in this role. And then, so then the story, I will admit to you, at the beginning, some of the things that were happening, just happened without words, or there was a cut, and then maybe some servants would be discussing what had happened. They didn't necessarily show every single scene. So, like, all of a sudden, there's a young woman whose mother is a courtesan and wants to sell her virginity to a rich landlord, and she runs away. And then suddenly she's in the singer's household. Like, he saw her at a concert, he was so overcome, realized that she was homeless. But then that creates a huge controversy in his life, and that everyone shuns him because they assume that he's taken in a mistress, which is, it's not really implied. It's just that he, out of his kindness and seeing that he had seen her dance and sing along to his singing, so he knew that she was someone that was really into the music. Anyway, it was out of the kindness of his heart. All of these things happen then from that point forward of his life changing, of his musicians shunning him, all of his patrons, whatever, and him falling into poverty. And then there's a reversal. She ends up having an illegitimate child that she convinces to pretend he's an orphan so that he can become a disciple in the household of the famous singer. She's trained her son to sing, but she wants him to be at the feet of the master. And just how that all unfolds. And at the ending was like, oh my God, can we spoil a movie that's 42 years old?
Actually,
So
apart from the
incredible.
film, Sankarabharanam deals about the tradition. Actually, every religion, every state, some people have their own culture, their own traditional music. Like
Right.
when Western music influencing Telugu predominantly in that time, Sankarabharanam came and know what is the traditional importance of traditional music like that. So people think that first of all, uh, who is hero? 60 years old hero. Some stereotypic audience
Right.
is there. So that time it is very changeover. I think complete changeover Telugu film industry towards concept oriented films.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many striking things about it. Like I said, it's very much to me like a parallel film. It's also a little bit shorter. It's only a little bit over 2 hours. I was really taken with the Manju Bhargavi, who plays the young woman. She really doesn't have a lot of dialogues per se, but she's so expressive in conveying her feelings. I mean, you can see she admires the singing of this older man, not that she's looking at him in any kind of a romantic way. The only little romantic subplot is about Sarada, the singer's daughter, and then her Chandra Mohan plays her suitor, someone that has met her at a temple and then is surprised that his mother wants to arrange a marriage. And then that whole scene of the bride viewing where she sings for her prospective bridegroom, but her father just rips into her because she's made some slight mistake in this very tense situation in the music, and that her bridegroom mispronounces some classical music term, and so he rejects him for that. And the guy who is trying to arrange all of this is just like, what are you're gonna ruin your daughter's life? And so there's just like this band of young people who are practicing a pop song outside the classical singer's house, and he goes out to yell at them, and then they challenge him, and they're like, well, you wouldn't be able to do it. He's like, just do it once. And so they sing this complicated lyric and immediately he can do it back, and their jaws are hanging on the floor. He could have, if he wasn't so into his art being completely pure, you can see in that moment he could have taken all of his skills and his beautiful voice, and he could have done popular music and made money, but that's not who he is. And I mean, it's so much in that one scene, in that one moment, so much is expressed. And just showing his skill was just another great song, just on that level. It's just another beautiful music moment. So I really enjoyed this. I didn't know what to expect from this movie when you suggested this title. I looked at the description, I'm like, okay, but I'll give it a go. But it was really compelling and interesting camera work. There was a lot of scenes. I don't know if I just didn't have the greatest print, but a lot of things were darkness with just certain people silhouetted in light, and just really interesting. Again, kind of a parallel cinema, kind of artsy, camera work and cinematography as well.
Telugu people feel this movie like their own treasure. So that's the main reason that I have suggested to you.
I'm really glad that I saw this film because it was so, I think some people look down on Telugu cinema as being too over the top. You know, they just think about fist fights and people flying through the air and all that kind of stuff, which I personally love. I have no problem with that. But I'm just saying, if they have this impression that that's all that Telugu cinema is, they're really missing out, because there's films like this that are a real gem and deservedly won national awards for just being such excellent filmmaking. You know, it's a wide tradition, just the same way Hollywood, if you could say, well, all of Hollywood is just Marvel movies. No, it isn't, right? Like, we've got the Oscars coming up in a few weeks. There's a whole wide range of films here, the same way here in Telugu cinema. There's a little bit of something for everybody. Anyway, I'm really glad that you introduced me to this film. It is a gem, and I encourage everyone to watch it.
We need to talk about music too.
I can't list all the different songs, but all of it was just so beautiful. Now, I think the title is after a particularly difficult song, is what I'm gathering.
Sankarabharanam itself, it is a raga. Raga means tune, like it's a raga of Carnatic music. So that's the reason they put the name.
Yeah. And the young woman who had run away, she names her child after this song as well. So I just thought that was very poignant. So anyway, I really enjoyed this, and thank you so much for introducing to me this beautiful music. It was just wonderful to listen to.
When coming to the acting point of view, K.Viswanath, renowned for his acting, and I think Forbes listed him top 25 performances in Indian film.
I would agree with that. And then the little child is Tulasi, and I guess that it was probably a young woman playing a 10-year-old boy or so. And oh my gosh, I looked up her filmography is like, she's she's doing mother and grandmother roles now. Like still this year she's got a film that she's in. But she was an amazing child actress in this part. She could lip sync so well with all the difficult songs that she had to do. Well, we didn't mention the playback singer for the main lead character. Yeah, thank you for pronouncing that for me. That's another tough one. Absolutely stunning. I think the director originally wanted someone else who was not available, and this singing, stunning, absolutely stunning and beautiful.
And director is legendary director in Telugu film industry. His name is K.Viswanath. He made number of films comparatively according to saving our own traditions, like that. He want to try to give message to save the traditions, save culture. Like he made number of films, and he is the topmost director in Tollywood till now. And cinematographer,
I'm really glad. Yeah,
legendary director Balu Mahendra, cinematographer. He is also a director.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like I said, the cinematography was really something special as well, and very notable.
Yeah, thank you, Melanie. Thank you for the reaction. అంటే శంకరాభరణం సినిమా సంబంధించి అంటే అప్పటి వరకు ఉన్న మోసధోరణిని బద్దలు కొట్టుకుని తెలుగు సినిమాలో కథానుసారంగా కథలు కనుక తీసుకెళ్ళగలిగితే, సినిమా కనుక తీయగలిగితే, కథను నమ్మి దాని మీద ఆ పాత్రలు ఎంచుకోగలిగితే, కథానుసారంగా వచ్చే సినిమాలు ఎలాంటి అవుట్పుట్ ఉంటాయి, ప్రేక్షకులు ఎంత ఆదరిస్తారు. అఫ్ కోర్స్ దానికి స్టార్టింగ్ లో టాక్ లేకపోయినప్పటికీ కూడా ఓవరాల్ రన్నింగ్ టైం పెరిగే కొద్దీ, ఎక్కువ రోజులు గడిచే కొద్దీ ప్రజలు మౌత్ పబ్లిసిటీ ద్వారా ఎంతలా సినిమాను ఆదరిస్తారనే దానికి ఈ రోజుకి పర్ఫెక్ట్ ఉదాహరణ శంకరాభరణం సినిమా. ఇన్ని సంవత్సరాలు గడిచినా కూడా ఈ రోజుకి గుర్తు చేసుకుంటున్నాము. తెలుగు వాళ్ళు తమ ఆస్తిగా భావించే సినిమా శంకరాభరణం. ఇంత మంచి సినిమా గురించి మెల్ని తన రివ్యూ అందించారు. మరో వారం మరో మంచి రివ్యూతో మేము వస్తాం. అంటిల్ దెన్ బాయ్. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్.